anyway, yeah, excitement. I'm coming to you real quick with this video because people keep asking me all the time, like, what it is I put on my skin, what do I do to my skin to keep it looking tight. I don't know, like, just not old and wrinkly. I'm a little bit older. Well, probably a lot older actually. But yeah, so then, like, I just have to be taking extra care of my skin. The older you get, the more I find the more that you have to do to your skin. Because when I was sort of in my 20s, I didn't have to really do anything to my skin. I'd just wash it and put some cocoa butter on it, and that would be it. I'd just be out the door. But now it's a totally different story. Now I gotta pay attention to what's going on with my skin. Now that you're getting older, it's just devastating. No, I'm joking. Do you remember when Kim Kardashian bawled her eyes out on her 30th birthday? You remember, like, she was just bawling, like bawling her eyes out because she turned 30. Like, that should be, you should rejoice in that. Rejoice in your womanhood, you're turning 30. But I kind of understand why she was like that, though. Like, a little bit, but she kind of took it a little bit too far. But anyway, let's hop straight to it. One of the first things that I like to do, that I find really does make a difference in my skin, is to exfoliate. Exfoliation is just, it's just my thing to do. I just find that my skin loves it. It really works on my skin. It just revitalizes it. And I don't use any sort of exfoliating products, any specific products. That they've got exfoliating products with exfoliating microbeads. Don't use the microbeads because that's really bad for the environment. But they got like little rocks and little bits and pieces. I don't know. I don't bother with any of that. I just use a simple face wash. Yeah, the brand Simple. And a glove, baby girl. I'll just put that on. This is a new one. I can't open it. But anyway, I put this on. And I just sort of apply a little bit of light pressure and exfoliate in a circular motion. And then I'll probably do that for about maybe a minute. Just go around in circular motions, like each section of my skin, and just go around. And then I rinse that off with cold water, because cold water always helps the pores to shrink up. Because, as you get older, I don't know if this happens to everybody, but as you get older, your pores get bigger. Like, it just looks like craters in your face. So to avoid that, I just try to use cold water when I can. But I live in London. I live in England, man. And sometimes in the winter time, you don't want to be having no cold water on your face. I know I don't want no cold nothing. Like, it'd be cold as hell outside. You'd be glad to get inside, have a hot bath. You're going to put cold water on your face? No. But in the summertime, yeah, I'll more like just put cold water on my face when I can. Otherwise, I'll just like use lukewarm water or tepid water, to rinse that off. Then I kind of fan it dry or just pat it dry lightly so the water sort of just sinks in. Water's a good moisturizer also. And then the second thing what I use after that is some aloe vera, because you see that? And when I'm kind of lazy. I'm a little bit lazy, like, where it comes to aloe vera. I have been known to, in the past, get the aloe vera leaf and cut it open, scrape out the gel and put it on. But I can't be bothered to do that all the time. So this is a really good brand. This is Premium Nature, and I get this from Amazon. And it's actually a really good brand, and you can see that it's in the dark bottle. And good brands are going to put their aloe vera in a dark bottle, because the sunlight sort of makes it go bad quicker, I believe. So this will preserve the life. If it's in a darker bottle, it'll preserve the life for longer. But this is 100% pure and natural aloe vera with no added anything. If I finish exfoliating, I'll just slap on the aloe vera. Well, not slap it on, but you know what I mean. I'll just put the aloe vera on. Moisturize, like just rub it in. Rub it in circular motions. I don't know, why do they say circular motions? I don't even know why they say circular motion. But you see how I'm not even really investigating, I just do it in a circular motion because they say circular motion. Does that mean? Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, so I put the moisturizer on, leave that for 5 minutes, leave it to sort of soak in, and then I repeat the process. I'll do it again because it just feels so good. It's cooling after you exfoliate. It just feels really good on your skin. Then the next thing I do is, I swear by this stuff, Kiss My Face. This is one of the dopest moisturizers, and it's really not that expensive. It's really sort of cheap. It's reasonable. I get it for about £8, £8 to £9, I'd say, depending on which seller you get it from. But I buy this from Amazon, and because I can't get it over here. I discovered this in New York. One of my friends used to use this, and I was like, let me just try this. And when I tried it, I was like, in love. In love. I was in love. Anyway, let me stop. You know when something goes on like silk, and I'm not even kidding, it just is so silky, so nice. It's just dope. Bomb, bomb, bomb. It just moisturizes really well. You don't feel, it doesn't, you know, when you moisturize, you could, that, it's like it lasts all day. You know, some moisturizers, you moisturize in the morning, and by the time like 5 o'clock comes and your skin be dry. Like when you do this and you just feel it like tugging and tight and dry, you know, that's not a moisturizer to me. But this stuff works, and it keeps going on and on and on, child. So I'll be using that. I love that. Then, one of my other favorites. Thank you so much, Dee. Dee is like one of my best friends now. She introduced me to this little baby. And this is called... Are you going to focus? Okay. I don't know if this is focused, but... that is called Alpha Liquid Gold, and I believe it's by an Australian company. And what it is it's actually got a bunch of ingredients that I just don't know how to pronounce, and I don't know what they do exactly, but I just know that my skin loves it. And I'm like not one of these people who, you know, I go through lists and lists of things like, oh no, that can't go on my skin, and oh no, this can't. It's just kind of trial and error. But she introduced me to this product, and it does have glycolic acid in it. So I would say if your skin is sort of herbosensitive or super sensitive or a little sensitive, I would not use this, because it does sort of tingle. It doesn't burn or anything, but it does, you do feel a sort of slight... why is my mouth filling up with saliva? I just don't know. But you do feel like a slight tingling feeling when you put it on. But you just sort of dab this on with a cotton wool, some kind of cotton wool pad, whatever. And then you just go to bed. And in the morning, your face is like, oh man, like I was in disbelief. I was like, how is it? Why does my skin look so good? So... yeah, that's something that I just love. It just seems to... do you know, like when you get that glowy kind of dew, just sort of naturally glowy dew, this is what that gives you. You know, if you don't like that dew, then I'd say don't use it. But I like that sort of glowy dew. It just reminds me of youthfulness, and I don't know, it just reminds me of good stuff, you know. So I just love using this. So yeah, that's one of my staple products, and it says that it's really good for pores, shrinking pores, and it, you know, I'd say that I definitely noticed a difference on my pores. But the thing is that you have to keep using it. It recommends that you use it on alternative nights, but I don't use it on alternative nights because I exfoliate. If you exfoliate, then if you exfoliate often, then don't use this often, because obviously after you exfoliate, your skin's tender, and then this will sink into the pores and sting the hell out of them, I would imagine, you know. So what I do is I'll probably use this sort of once every 2 weeks, something like that. Or if I'm going out on, you know, I was going to say on a date, you know, I'm not going out on any dates, but if I'm going out sort of with my friends, or going out for a night out, or, oh, excuse me, going out on a night out or anything like that, then I'll definitely use that to you know, bring out my dewy look. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. And I would definitely recommend it, folks. Like, I would definitely recommend this, because this is definitely liquid gold. It does what it says on the tin. And lastly, to protect my skin, my dermis and epidermis and hypodermis or whatever, but to protect it, I know you say, you know, you black, son, you shouldn't be using that. You don't need to use that, but yes, I'm black. As you can probably see, I don't need to state that, right? But I use a SPF 50. This is just a Malibu one. You can see, yeah, there you go, focus. That's just a Malibu SPF 50 high protection from UVA and UVB rays. Yeah, like you say that black folk don't really need this, but I think as you're aging, you know, the sun, yeah, we've got enough melanin and stuff like that to protect us from the sun, but I just think, you know, a little extra protection is not gonna, you know, it's not gonna harm anybody, and, you know, it does help to prevent wrinkles and things like that. You know, skin is skin at the end of the day, and you do need to sort of give it some kind of protection from the sun. The only thing that I don't like about this is that it just, you know, it's like, it makes you really, really shiny, and I just hate the shine. It's just really hard. It's not like dewy, it's like shiny, like you just put like loads of Vaseline on your face. So that's the only thing I don't like about it, really. Like, it just really, really shines you up. But what I do is I'll put it on, you know, like in the morning, I'll put it on after I wash my face or whatever. I'll put my moisturizer on first, and then I'll put some of that on. And then I'll just leave it for a little while and walk around, have my breakfast, and just do stuff. And then it kind of like sinks in a little bit. And then I just sort of blot it with a towel, or blot it with something, because it is just really shiny. Like, you'd be walking down the street and somebody's wearing sunglasses, and sure, they can see the reflection of their sunglasses on your forehead or something, because it is really, really shiny. But so yeah, listen, thanks for coming through. Yeah, like, I hope you found this video helpful, especially if you are over 30, approaching 40, over 40, approaching 50, over 60. If you're over 60, I don't think I can really help you on that one. Like, maybe, you know, you need to seek something a little more invasive. I don't know, but yeah, man, like, these are like tips and tricks that I use to try and keep my skin looking healthy and young. Oh, I forgot the main thing. Okay, the main thing, water. You all know the main thing is water. You got to drink a lot of water, or drink at least a decent amount of water. I don't drink loads of water, but water's, you know, water's my thing, and I'm weird. I actually like water, but I don't like cold water. I like hot water. So I'll boil the kettle and I'll have like hot water, and I'll drink that throughout the day. So throughout the day I'll probably have about 6 cups of hot water, and I'll drink other stuff in between. But you know, water does help. It really does help. You know, drink up the water. Water is good for your skin. Yeah. Those are just 5 things that I can't do without, and I find that they do help. You know, all of them in combination with each other, they do help. They're my staple products, and, you know, I just thought I would share them with you because... But anyway, yeah, thanks for hopping on this one with me, and I guess I'll see you on the next one later. You gotta keep this shit moist. Moist. Something that's going to keep you supple. I don't know, I just don't want to say moist.